Hi, Ben Van der Velde here for the amazing breakfast show on Amazing Radio. I'm here up at the Edinburgh Fringe with one of the many thousands of comedians who are here, Mr. Tiernan Douieb.
Hello, I am number 1723.
Excellent. Do you have to go up incrementally as the years go on?
I don't know. Probably. I think that's just my tag number when I became a comic. I don't know what you'd be.
Oh God, I'll be about 4,000.
Probably about 4,000, yeah, maybe.
That's a horrible thought that there are promoters out there tagging comedians.
I like it. It makes us seem limited edition.
Is there a little Tiernan somewhere in a little box like that?
Yeah, so it's just collecting us in a room.
Can't let him out of the box.
You'd be more terrified if somebody was actually trying to collect us. That would explain why some people have disappeared off the circuit.
Yeah, but they'd have some really careworn comics, wouldn't they? Like, oh, I've got like a mint edition hack. Horrible.
That would be terrible.
Anyway, no, that's fine. Tiernan, you were doing several million shows, but you're doing 3, aren't you?
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things that seemed like a really good idea at the time, and now seems like the worst thing I could have done in my life. That's why I sound like this.
Like this is how every Fringe performer sounds during the start of the 3rd week.
Yeah, end of week 2. So yeah, three shows.
So you've got Tiernan Douieb versus the world.
Yep, that's show numero uno. That's my solo show where generally I talk about how much I hate the government, a little bit about snowboarding, and a little bit about dragons. Then I've got show number 2, which I'm going to go to in a minute, which is with Tim Fitzhigham, and it's a kids show called The Adventurers Club, The Great Arctic Caper, where we muck about for an hour and I dress up as a polar bear. It's all about us going to the Arctic to find the great explorer John Franklin, who was lost 200 years ago, went missing. And it's not because he went missing, it's because he owes us £15 a membership fee. So we've got to go to the adventure. And he's played by Craig Campbell, if you know, it's amazing. Yeah, Craig gives advice to kids on survival. It's amazing.
For those who don't know, Craig Campbell looks like a Canadian wild man. He's like 6'3", massive beard, massive hair.
We now call him Man Mountain Man, because just Man Mountain or Mountain Man wasn't enough. So Man Mountain Man. He's immense, right? Huge bear. And yes, that's show number 2. And show number 3 is the Comedy Club for Kids, which you have done. And we had Slow-Mo doing it yesterday, it was very exciting. But basically, it's every day, it's different comedians doing stand-up comedy for 6 to 11-year-olds.
That's amazing. Good. So what? Like, how's the Comedy Club for Kids start?
It started through James Campbell invented it, who pretty much just does kids comedy now by himself. He does those solo shows, but he invented it and we took it over from him last December. So it's now my baby.
So that was like an aggressive buyout of comedy for
kids?
No,
he very happily handed it over because he's very busy in his own life writing kids' books and things like that. So yeah, we've taken it over and now I'm the regular host and I spend my days talking to really bonkers children. Absolutely. Yesterday we had a girl who said she was undercover and protecting the Queen's jewels. Fair enough. That's all good.
How did you manage to like restrain the comedian's instinct to go, that's a double on, no, you're 2?
Yeah, you have to, there's so many. What was the one? There was a kid the other day who just kept saying he wanted Coke, and I had to mention it, especially because he was from Glasgow. So it's like, I've got to mention it.
Yeah, it's like a gift from the comedy gods, so you have to go, right, I'll put you away for later.
Yeah, save it, real good.
And it's interesting you talk about your main show's political, because like I've probably watched them for the past 2-3 years, and like you do lots of comparing like me, but most of all, it's silly wordplay and fluffiness.
Oh yeah.
And now you've got an edge.
Yeah, it's still quite silly actually. I still do really silly jokes. Like talk about how Nick Clegg's name makes him sound like a prosthetic limb thief. So you know, I've thrown in lots of those. But yeah, it's generally because for the last year I've been doing lots more. I've got quite a few like gigs and demonstrations with Josie Long and Mark Thomas, people like that, and been getting quite active in it. So I just thought I would talk about it. But I try and do it from the point of view of somebody that doesn't know anything about politics. Somebody who's a bit stupid about it all and naive about it all, and so that's the aim of the show, is to get people on board that know as little as I do.
And that's the rallying cry, just to stop people being apathetic.
Yeah, really, yeah. Because it all comes from mainly when there was the AV vote in May, and not really whether people voted for alternative voting or not. It was about that barely anyone voted until we had like less than 40% of the country voting, that kind of overvote. Come on, give a shit. So yeah.
So what's that? If you could change the world, if Tiernan Douieb was president of the world for the day?
Oh no, this is such a big question.
It's a comedy for kids question in many ways, isn't it? If you were 9.
I do so many things. One of the things I used to love was once the Monster Raving Looney Party said that every house in the UK could not only have a hot and cold water tap, but also a custard and jelly tap. And that for me, I'd do that straight. Even as a diabetic, I'd still do it straight. I'd be found dead in my own sink, just But I would do it.
That's genuinely how my dad introduced me to politics. That's the first policy he ever told me about. And,
good policy. It's a great one. I like the one they had one the other year, which was more use of the word globule. Great.
Well, obviously that's going to get comedians on side because it's
easily, yeah.
It's perfect, like moist globule, and then you're just you're off.
Good word.
Well, so this is how many fringes have you done?
Oh god, so this is 5th full Fringe, with 3rd solo show. I did 2 sketch shows, and it's 7th Fringe overall. So I might have a break next year.
Break, not break down?
Probably both.
Probably both, that's cool. What was the sketch show you did?
It was a show called Tea and Cake, and then I did a sequel called Tea and Cake in the Ghetto. And it was...
You were a very silly man.
Yeah, it was actually quite a dark sketch show. It had things like a Viking AGM meeting with a rape and pillage graph chart, and it's just some quite horrible sketches, isn't it, like that? But we got some really nice reviews. First year, second year was rubbish, so we stopped doing it.
Cool.
It happens.
Yes, it does. If you like, actually, yeah, no, it's an interesting one. What's the best and worst review you've had? Because I remember talking to a comic. It was this Fringe who said that he'd got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 star during the entire Fringe.
I've had that. I've never got lower than the 2 star, but I've had a couple of 2 stars, which just one of them said it was like talking to your stone mate, and I was thinking stone mates do not have callbacks. That's the difference. But yeah, I've had a few where people seem to mistake doing friendly, happy comedy for being boring, which fair enough it is, but I kind of go, it doesn't have to be the same. There's lots of people kind of go, it isn't edgy enough, so it's boring. And you go, I just don't like being mean, so it's not the same. But on the other hand, I've had people, I had a really nice one the other day at 4 stars the other day, that said, with sort of jokes and material like mine, I'm blowing all the other Fringe comics out the water. Win. Unless they meant it in a filthy way, in which case lose.
No, you're blowing them out the water with your love gun.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, see? Again. Have to be very careful. But no, I've had some, lovely ones. It's very weird though. You can get great reviews that have nothing quotable in them. And a bad review that 3 words will somehow be the best quote in a place to ever.
Well, it's someone had this strip of kind of going, this is the... I can't remember what it was. There was a ridiculous review kind of, this is the worst example of stunning surrealism ever. It's like, yeah, but the worst example of stunning surrealism.
Of course you do. So it's the trick, the dots, what are they called, ellipses, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are like the most powerful tool in quoting ever. Always use your ellipse as well.
Yeah, if we've learned one thing from this interview, it's how to punctuate reviews well.
Oh yeah.
And one last thing, we're asking everyone kind of like this is the place where anything goes. Anything artistically. What is the most Fringe experience you've ever had where you just looked at something and went, yeah, I'm in Edinburgh?
Have you seen it? This is one of my favourites. It was a few years ago. I had a friend of mine, Adam Brace, who's a brilliant playwright. He's got a play up at Assembly Gardens called Midnight Your Time, which is brilliant. But I was standing on the Royal Mile. This must have been about 3 or 4 years ago, and I think it was again second week, so we were a bit miserable. Everyone is miserable in week 2. Everyone is very happy in week 3 and anxious in week 1. That's how it works. And standing in the middle of the Royal Mile. And he was just mad going, I just hate it here. It's like nobody here has any dignity. And as he said that, a topless man in tight black trousers walked past him doing opera and barged back there, and his face just went, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever. The timing was perfect. Brilliant.
That was joyous.
Wonderful, yeah.
Cool, well I hope I see things like that on the Fringe in the last week.
Yeah, indeed.
Lovely chatting to you too.
Lovely chatting to you too as well, sir.
Best of luck for the rest of the Fringe.
Thank you very much.